Hello everyone. We all know that ICSI should be done only for indicated cases, and for most of the cases you should do an IVF insemination. However, when you are new to IVF insemination, the most stressing factor is how do you calculate the final concentration or the final volume of inseminate for the number of cumulus complexes that you have retrieved. So we have come up with this utility tool, which is actually an Excel spreadsheet with formulas fed into it. So you need to enter the trigger shot timing, the number of OCCs that you have retrieved, and the final concentration of the prepared semen sample, and it will automatically calculate the volume of inseminate for you. The basic assumption is that you would be using a center well dish with 1 ml fertilization media and inseminate not more than 5 or 6 OCCs per dish. So let's get started. So in the trigger shot timing, say the trigger shot was at 11:30 p.m. So it auto calculates the OPU timing window for you based on 35 to 35.5 hours. Here you need to feed the number of OCCs. For example, you fed 14 OCCs. So this tells you how many center well dishes should you be preparing for final insemination. So here you need 3 center well dishes with 1 ml of fertilization media in it, and you can inseminate 5 and 4 OCCs per dish. The final concentration of prepared semen sample, which is actually the capacitated sperm that you have prepared. So if the final concentration is say 9 million, then you would need 25 microliter per dish, and the last dish has 1 OCC less, so you need to inseminate it only with 20 microliter of the sperm. Here you see the timing of insemination has already been auto calculated for you based on 39 to 40 hour window. It is like a 1 hour window. Here we are trying to follow a short insemination protocol, so you are free to do the partial denudation about roughly 1.5 to 2 hours after the IVF insemination. A few things to note about the sheet is the number of sperms per OCC. So the literature says that the number of sperms required for IVF insemination per OCC, it actually varies between anywhere from 25,000 to about 1 lakh. You will find many literature recommending different values. So this value is what suits your clinical setup. For the sake of calculation, we had taken 40,000 sperms per OCC. But you can reduce this number, and it is going to reduce the inseminate volume accordingly. So how do you know what is the value that will suit your clinic is probably a trial and error. For us, it works best with 30,000 because we have seen anywhere lesser than 30,000, the fertilization rate tends to be lower, and anywhere above 30,000, we see more 3PN. But naturally we don't have enough evidence on it, but for us we keep it around 30,000 depending on the kind of sample again you have. So you can choose this value accordingly for your clinic. The other thing is the final concentration of the prepared semen sample. So when you have a higher concentration, IVF insemination is a piece of cake, but when you have a lower concentration, say 5 million on the prepared sperm, the amount of inseminate volume is naturally going to increase. So be wary about the cutoff for you beyond which you will decide that you're going to do an ICSI. So all of this is an information, this is dynamic. So you have to assess the final semen sample and then decide whether you should be doing an IVF or an ICSI. But don't let a mathematical calculation or the stress behind calculating the mathematical calculation decide against an IVF. So the intention behind this little utility was to take the stress away from the calculation on the day of OPU, where you especially have multiple OPUs together. Thank you so much for your time. This is Doel from Embryogeny. I am the course director and the training coordinator. And you can get in touch with us for any training need related to embryology or IVF. Thank you.